Penguins have a fairly unique breeding strategy, even in the animal world. Some penguins lay eggs on nests that they construct themselves, others lay in burrows that they dig themselves, and even some lay on top of their feet. Males and females both share incubation duties in most cases. In the case of the emperor, though, the male does all the incubation.
Incubation ranges from 34 days for the smaller species to 70 days for the larger species.
Usually when the chick hatches, both parents will take turns feeding it, but in the case of the emperor, the female will take over all feeding duties for the first couple weeks while the male goes out and fattens up after incubating for 2 months. But most species do share feeding duties between the parents. As the chick's nutritional requirements increase, feeding visits to and from the nest can increase in frequency. We're here inside the penguin encounter looking at some of the features that make our penguin breeding program so successful. The first thing you probably notice is the snow on the ground. We come in and spread that snow out so it's nice and clean for the birds every morning. Now, during the breeding season, we'll replace the snow with river rock. This starts in about September or October, and the birds will use that river rock to build their nests and lay their eggs. The temperature in here is about between 32 and 34 degrees. Again, very similar to their natural environment. If you look at the rockwork, you'll notice there's lots of nooks and crannies. This allows the birds little private spaces to build their nests so they feel more isolated and secure, which is all important in the raising of chicks successfully. Now that nest building is very important from a bonding standpoint. The males usually do most of the building, and that's how they attract a potential mate. And then usually we'll start seeing eggs laid around October. We've had as many as 100 eggs laid in here during the breeding season. We prefer the parents raise the chicks if possible, but sometimes, like young people, young penguins aren't the best parents. So if we have to intervene and take an egg or a young chick from the parents and help it along, we will. These are 5-month-old king penguin chicks that we are gradually reintroducing to the colony so they can get used to being around other birds as well as humans. They're gradually losing their down feathers, which are not waterproof, and replacing them with juvenile feathers or juvenile plumage underneath, which allows them to go in the water. Here at the SeaWorld parks, we have a wealth of hand-rearing experience, and if we notice an egg or a chick in distress, we won't hesitate to step in and help it out. In the case of an egg, we have incubators set up in the back where we can finish its incubation. Or in the case of a chick, we can step in and supplement its feedings or take over the feeding altogether to ensure that chick's survival.
Sometimes accidents happen, but you'd be amazed at how resourceful thinking and a little glue can turn a sticky situation into a good thing. This is exactly what happened when the penguin keepers at SeaWorld, Texas found a crack in a penguin egg. Some quick thinking saved the day. After examining the egg, they realized the penguin chick was alive, but would only survive if the crack was sealed. They decided to try Elmer's glue. The crack was sealed and the egg was put in an incubator to stay warm. Not long after, a healthy penguin chick hatched, and what better name to give him than Elmer?
Our breeding programs at the SeaWorld parks are extremely successful.
We've bred rockhoppers, macaronis, gentoos, adelies, chinstraps, kings, Humboldts, Magellanic, and emperor penguins.
water temperature in the penguin encounter at SeaWorld is between 45 and 50 degrees. I have almost fallen in the water, but I have gotten in there willingly hundreds of times. Part of our job as keepers is to keep the windows clean and free of the salt. We have to clean that salt off the glass several times a day. And then we also dive in our exhibits to clean the algae off the rocks in the pool bottom. So several times a week we're getting in the water. I've had the unique opportunity to see the birds that I've raised from the eggs have babies that have had babies, that have had babies, that have had babies. I'm on my 5th generation of penguins. One of the king penguins still recognizes my voice and comes running across the counter every time he hears me come inside.